friends. This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we're the Cousins Weird. Hi! It's the week of St. Patrick's Day.
Woohoo!
We're excited.
I got green eyeshadow on.
I got green beads on. And
green
I got some really cool lucky glasses wearing her live. But I'm kind of dressed like a bum. Margaret's cute.
I tried.
I did not.
I was also an hour late getting here.
She was.
You know.
I was on time, but don't look like I did anything to myself. So we're excited for St. Patrick's Day. We've been trying to do like a Irish themed so far this month. We've covered that. I don't know. Anything new?
I'm sad there's no there's no Watertown Goes Green Festival.
I know.
I hope that it's like one of the things of quarantine is a festival like that. Like, has it like lost its momentum? Even though it's been around for 20 some years.
I heard that they're going to do it next year.
It's been more than 20 years. We went as kids.
Yeah, we're old.
So it's like 30 years, at least.
Probably even more than that.
35.
I don't even know. But
more than that.
I did hear they're going to come back next year. So
good, because you get like, they're just not going to have it anymore.
Yeah, because
that's
you get
like
out
our
of the
thing.
habit.
And it's when we were kids, we went because we wanted to like do the St. Patrick's Day fishing game and win some cheap little prize.
Because we used to host that booth.
Yeah,
St. Pat's School did. My mom and I used to do it.
And green cotton candy and
you run around, and go up and down the elevators, get stuck.
And you know what's funny? It's way different. Like now it's so packed, and it's basically all drunk people.
Yeah, it's just about
all day.
Drunk.
And it used to be the drunk people came at night.
Yeah,
and now it's like they have bars upstairs and downstairs, and it's just drunk people all the whole time.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's usually we go and watch some kind of good live Irish music.
Yeah. Yesterday, Rich and I, because on St. Patrick's Day itself, he works nights and I work days, so we don't see each other. So we went. We've been doing Saturday day dates where we just kind of go to a different restaurant, eat, and then go somewhere else afterwards and have a couple drinks. We've been really liking going to Garland City. We just like the atmosphere, and
I've never been.
Oh, really?
Oh,
good. I like the atmosphere there, and so they had an Irish thing going on all day yesterday, but we missed the music. It just ended when we got there, and then more was coming, but we left before the other one started because it was like 2 hours.
Oh, that stinks.
And, well, I guess he started when we were there, but it wasn't Irish. It was just a regular. But from 1 to 4, it was all Irish music. We didn't know about it until we got there that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a couple drinks to celebrate St. Patrick's Day together. But
I am drinking a decaf almond milk Irish cream latte from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Because
I am drinking a decaf, low carb, no carb water.
I hadn't had coffee yet today.
Margaret was like looking over like, that looks like water. She was like, where is she going with this?
It's clear. Okay. It's decaf? All right. No, it's water. Okay.
That makes sense.
But even though I'm on decaf, I didn't drink my coffee this morning and I missed it. And a lot of it is more like the habit of it.
The like ritual of a coffee.
Yes, and the taste of it. Even and
know.
honestly, Dunkin' Donuts coffee isn't my favorite anyway, so their decaf doesn't taste any worse than the regular, in my opinion.
You're gonna get Dunkin' Donut fans mad.
It's okay. The Irish cream flavoring makes it taste delicious.
Okay, good.
And the whipped cream that I had.
Well, that helps
top,
too.
But I mean, the milk has sodium in it, so even cow's milk has sodium in it.
Everything does.
That's why cheese is so high in salt.
Yeah.
It's because it's concentrated milk.
Yeah.
And they use salt for preservation.
And you know what makes me mad? Like, green leafy vegetables have carbs in them. That's just not fair. That's not fair. I should not have to count lettuce as a carb. And you can have a lot of it, but still there's carbs in it. It just makes no sense. It's not fair. Life isn't fair if a piece of lettuce has carbs.
You could eat 4 pounds of bacon.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because it's carbs. It's not healthy. You know what I mean? They're rating it on how much carbs is in it.
But when your body doesn't process carbs right.
What do you do?
What do you do? But
I would think the fiber in it would counteract the carbs.
There is fiber, but it still doesn't bring it down enough to have no carbs. But the thing is, I eat tons of green fibrous veggies like at every meal. Oh, you like my nails?
Colleen's got some fancy shamrock fingernails.
I do.
On right now.
Aren't they pretty?
They are.
They're kiss nails. Just stick them on.
Ooh, like Lee press-on nails.
They are, but they're kiss and they work. They actually last for like over a week. I don't know where I was going with anything, but
get sponsored from Kiss Nails.
I know Kiss Nails sponsor me because I use them a lot. I just ordered a bunch online. The coffin shape ones. I like that look. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into it. So, we're going to talk about the curse of Blarney Castle. Now, we can't talk about Blarney Castle without talking about the Blarney Stone, obviously.
For sure.
We have to talk about the history of the castle. So, it's located in the County Cork in Ireland. If you didn't know it was in Ireland, I don't know where you've lived your whole life, but there you go. The ruins that are there today are actually the third structure that they had on that site. The first one was a wooden one built in the 10th century. Then in 1210 AD, it was replaced with a stone stronghold. Obviously, it's like they're like the three little pigs, and they were like, "Well, this wooden one isn't really going to hold up if there's someone's coming to attack us." So they built a better one. But then in 1446, they demolished that stone one to the foundations, and by his name was Cormac McCarthy, and he made a big castle, and he built it on the side of a cliff. And there, the higher you go up in the castle, the narrower it gets. Kind of like most castles are like that. They have a main tower, so it has that. It's said that the McCarthy family was gifted the Stone of Scone by Robert the Bruce of Scotland for their help defeating England in the Battle of Bannockburn. It's called the Stone of Scone, or the Stone of Destiny, or the Stone of Eloquence. But we know it as the Blarney Stone.
The Stone of Eloquence.
Doesn't that sound fancy?
Yes.
And the McCarthys put it in the castle's battlement. So it's up high in the tower. There are many stories surrounding the stone. Some say it's part of the same stone as Stonehenge. Others say that the stone is a stone mentioned in Genesis as Jacob's pillow that God anointed. So it was anointed by God. Some say the stone is the same stone that Moses drew water from. So there's a lot of legend and mystery behind the stone. And really, they don't really know how the stone got to there anyway. Like, why? Why did it have... They say this, but how did... They say, it was gifted to him, they think. But no one really knows where the stone came from. When the Queen of England, who was Elizabeth I at the time, got scared that Irish Catholics were going to go against her, she sent... the McCarthys were Irish Catholic family, and they had a lot of power and property, and she's like...
This is Henry VIII's daughter, right, Elizabeth?
I'm assuming, the first, yeah.
Yes, so they were Protestant.
Yeah, they didn't like the Catholics.
They were Church of England.
Yeah.
That's what they started.
So she was a little nervous because McCarthy family was Irish Catholic, and they had a lot of power and land. And she was like, well, I gotta do something about this. I want to nip this right in the bud.
Right, syphilis that she got from her father.
Ew.
Who gave it to her mother, who gave it to her.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, because I think that was one of the things with Henry VIII, everybody thought. Like, he got really crazy when he got older.
Syphilis.
And it was syphilis. He had that dementia from syphilis.
So, she sent the Earl of Leicester to Ireland.
Wasn't he her lover?
Could be.
I think wasn't she the one that she was having a love affair with? She was like known as the Virgin Queen, right?
I don't know.
First. I'm a weird nerd.
Margaret, this is a story about Blarney Castle. I don't have the deets on the English people.
But I think he was her lover.
Oh, well. She sent him to take his land and rights back. So Margaret's like wrapping up in all sorts of things. It's cold. So she sent him there. And McCarthy, at the time, it was like an ancestor of the original McCarthy that built it. It was like a couple generations later. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to convince the Earl not to do this. Like, he's like, knew if he could just persuade him in a way, but he just wasn't one of those people that was really good at talking to people and persuading them. But he met an old lady who we are thinking is the goddess. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to say her name right. I know I'm gonna butcher it. Are you ready? Cleodona. Don't know if that's right, but we're gonna go with it. She told him that Blarney Stone that their family was gifted had powers. And if you kiss it, you will be able to speak with eloquence. The Stone of Eloquence.
Oh,
Blarney.
I need that.
I know. So do I. I can't speak at all. What do you mean you need it? So he goes, he kisses the stone, and he invites the Earl over for a banquet. And there was a lot of delaying going on because he was trying to figure out how to stop this from happening. The Queen was getting annoyed too. But so he invites him for a banquet. And because he kissed the stone, he was able to persuade him to go against the queen and not do it. So the queen's pissed. But the queen, come to find, when it was all said and done and it didn't happen, the queen said that his words are just a bunch of Blarney. And Blarney is defined as a pleasant, friendly way of speaking, good at persuading people.
Nice.
So that's kind of where the origin of kissing the stone will bring you a gift of gab, but also luck. Good luck.
I would touch the Blarney Stone and then sanitize my hand afterwards. Because people go and kiss the stone all day long. And I'm like, I'm not kissing that. You get herpes.
You can get a lot of things. So the castle... Wait, hold on. Yeah. The castle has been changed hands many times throughout the centuries until it was purchased. So the McCarthy family had it, then another family wars happened, took it away, then the McCarthy family had it back, and it went back and forth. Finally, the queen came and took everything and then auctioned it off, and it went to some company for a while, like a sword company. And then in the 1700s, it was purchased by Sir James Jeffreys, who's the governor of Cork. And his son, James St. John Jeffreys, inherited the land in the castle in 1740, and he developed Blarney Village that surrounds the castle. Mm-hmm. So he built 90 houses, a church, and flax mills, because there was 3 main rivers that surrounded the castle, which made it very prosperous for industry and things. So he was trying to invite linen and other stuff to come in and have mills by the rivers. He built a Gothic style home beside the castle in 1739, right next to the east wall. Because when he got the castle, it had already been attacked so many times, it wasn't in great shape.
I just as an afterthought here, or a forethought, I knew about the Blarney Stone, and I knew people go to see the Blarney Stone and kiss the stone. I had no idea it was in a castle.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea. I did not know it was in a castle.
Well, here we go.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the house caught on fire and burned in 1820. But the ruins are still standing next to it. Like you could see them today next to the castle. They actually rebuilt, it's called the Blarney House that overlooks a lake. And it belongs to this day to Sir Charles St. John Colehurst, who is a descendant of the Jeffreys family. They married into the Colehurst family. So they still have ownership of the castle to this day. So it's very interesting how it stayed in the family, for literally centuries.
Yeah.
So after the Napoleonic Wars, a lot of the houses were abandoned. The economy was crappy. And that was in the
I talk about Napoleon in my terrible trend. Just so you know. What a weird connection. We didn't even plan
it. So the Blarney... So the town was kind of collapsing and no one was living there anymore, that little village that they maintained. And then in 1824, the Blarney woolen mills were established and were huge industry for the area. And they remained in business till 1973. That's cool. Until Asia and stuff got in global trading and things like that happened. The mills now, though, interesting enough, were bought, I think almost the same family opened them back up. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was the same family. They converted them into the leading Irish heritage shops. They sell products from every county in Ireland there. It's the biggest, basically, souvenir store in the world. They took these big mills and turned them into these. Every county of Ireland is represented in it. And they also have a hotel there because they wanted to have a bar because they saw that husbands were getting real bored with the wives shopping in these giant places. So they're like, well, we get a liquor license, get a bar, but they couldn't get a liquor license. I can't remember why. But this is just a side note that I read and I thought was interesting. And then they said, oh, here's a loophole. If we build a hotel, it automatically comes with a liquor license. So they have a hotel on site in a bar. So you can shop and stay and all that right there in Blarney Village right next to the castle, which is cool.
We need to go there.
I know.
I need to go to Ireland in general.
I know it. Today, the Blarney Castle is basically in ruins, but there are some things that are accessible to it. Not just the stone